Hello YouTube, welcome. In this video I will try to cover and review the PvE tier list that I published a month ago. Let me explain why I'm doing this after a month, because when I published that video, it was the first day that I joined the military service. That's why now I'm free to do that. People ask me a lot why this class is S, why the other one is A, why this class looks shit tier, and blah 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 blah. Now we will talk about them, in general, why we call S plus, what is S, what is A, B, C, and shit tier. Before to go to talk about the tier lists, I want to explain how I prepared the tier list.
I want to make you an offer you can't refuse. Die.
Tier list is prepared thanks to the other class masters. It's only few classes. I put some inputs, rates about them. All the classes that you're gonna see in the tier list, they will rate it. They rate it. They just, people just rated them with their own experience. I talk with LAN class master about LAN. I talk with WUSA class master about WUSA. Yes, I played many of the classes. I have experience about them. But their thoughts being more objective and from their perspective, how they feel because they're playing those classes continuously. So I want to talk about what is S, what is S plus, what is A, or other things. In Black Desert Online, let me show it to you. This is early game tier list. We will talk about that. S plus in my tier list, I'm just making those S plus means they are literally the chosen ones. They're like God, or they're like goddess. They're like Thanos with 5 stones in that part of the game. That means that S plus. S means very strong classes. People think that S plus the only choice to go for. No, S tier classes are also very strong. You can play them and you can have some fun. They will give you 15-20% more trash or performance in any sport. People always think that S is bad. No, S plus is extremely good. Unmatched. They are the go-to. But S is also strong. Very strong. A is mediocre, medium tier. B and C is bad. And the latest one is shit tier, is unacceptably bad. That's the scenario and why they're bad, why they're... On the other hand, I want to talk about something different. I also mentioned that in the video, but what is early game, mid game, and late game? Let me show it to you. Early game means 2 to 240 AP. You can one-shot spots, well-packed, small-packed spots, easy to grind. A real newbie is grinding there. If I just start from scratch, I wouldn't be an early game player. I would directly go into the mid game because game is giving tons of items, tons of other things. That's why I put early game. Mid game means 240 to 300 or 290. It depends your experience in that AP scale. End game is 290 and 300 AP and more. Okay, it's simple. People asking that question again. They asked it again. So here is the list that how you can improve your PvE performance. And meanwhile, we're rating those classes. They're checking all the things. They're thinking, I'm just sending them a survey, and that survey, I'm asking tons of different things. I'm explaining the situation, and they're answering it. The situation is this. PvE can, a class can be good in one spot. For example, a week ago, Deadeye was unmatched at Dark Secret Street because of the broken single target DPS. But it doesn't make the Deadeye is broken PvE class. On the other hand, let me think. Succession Mago has good range abilities, acceptable mobility, but class has bad DPS. Succession Mago good at Tundra Trees, pretty chill, but what about the other spots? Succession Mago is good? No. So it doesn't make the Succession Mago is S. That's why Succession Mago is A in most of scenario. So people think many things before they rate their classes. So I just want from you something simple. Don't be Pepega. They are the class masters, and there are tons of background reasons in their mind before they rate their classes. And this tier list, I cannot be humble about that, is the only tier list that has over 90% accurate infos in it. This is not just a simple personal tier list. This is the tier list of Black Desert Online's class masters. So in this video, I also wanted to talk about how you can improve your PvE performance. Of course, it depends your gear. That's the first thing. AP cap knowledge. Every sport has a different AP caps. In that caps, you may change your combo, you may change your add-ons, you may change your crystals, and many other things. At the end of the day, knowledge is power. Consumable usage. Which consumable you're gonna use? I mean, class performance. Can you use your class max performance? Do you know the movement skills? Can you optimize and min-max your movements pack to pack if you grinded pack to pack sport? Do you know how you can optimize your add-ons according to the sports, the consumables? There are tons of different variations that single by single affecting your PvE performance. People asking me, hey Quendia, you're doing 30,000 at this sport, but I'm only doing 20k. I'm doing whatever you want, whatever you do at the same, like there probably is something, not something, many things that you're just, not covered. You're not just, doing those things because 20k and 30k, if you would say like, hey, Quentin, you're doing 30k, but I'm doing 28k, what is missing? Maybe one thing you're missing, but there are like tons of things that you need to check. You need to learn, get knowledge, then some experience. Then you will start to become like Looney, Quendia, or any other Lua, any other high PvE performance class masters. It's not easy. By the way, this record is from Twitch. I'm live on Twitch right now. The people, they hiddenly watching you. They said hi to you. Maybe they want to say hi their mom. I don't know. But let's talk about the early game. Like I said in before, early game means that like 240 AP. Very easy spots. Let's talk about Succession, Berserker, Musa Awakening. These classes, they're good because of their mobility in early game. Archer, acceptable mobility if you can control, and the range ability. Awakening Nova, it's because of mobility. So Archer and Nova, it's hard for early game players. I'm not suggesting these classes, but these classes good for early game. They are the god. S tier classes, Succession Warrior, acceptable AoE for early game and acceptable mobility. Ranger, range ability. Musa, mobility. And, very hard, but mobility. Wizard Succession, range and mobility. Those are Awakening, mobility. Kinda. Sackwitch, range and mobility. DK Awakening, mobility. Striker Awakening. AoE is very easy to play for early game players and acceptable mobility. Lan Awakening, Lan Succession, Wusa, Mega, they all S for early game. And these classes they're just becoming like, mid tier for early game because they're just losing their mobility performance, AoE, and maybe damage, some other things. And it's going down. So I don't want to talk about the early game that much because early game part is extremely, small, extremely short. Maybe 2 weeks, maybe 3 weeks. And any class can grind an early game. And in early game phase, the money difference in every hour with Scholar and the Dosa Awakening, maybe 50 million per hour. So no big issue in this part. Let's talk about the mid game part. In mid game, Lan Succession. Very low cooldowns, very easy to play. Very, very easy to play. Low cooldowns and acceptable AoE for mid game. You can grind easily. And very big damage. Archer, hard to play, but overall, very good PvE class. Nova Awakening. Right now, you will see the Nova Awakening always S+. Very, very hard to play, very, very hard to control the class. At the end of the day, the results, perfect. Mega Succession and mid-game. Acceptable mobility, very big AoE, very big range. At Sakraya, at Tonewood, at Orgs, like amazing. Succession Sage, very big AoE, and acceptable mobility for mid-game spots. And for S tier classes, they're losing their AoE performance, maybe mobility performance, slightly compared to these ones, but they are also good. They may need, some. We will talk about all classes, how hard they are at the end game phase. They may need some kind of, a little bit more effort to do some get S tier. Mid tier, after like, for mid game, even like A tier is acceptable, but B, C, or maybe A tier is not acceptable. If you ask me, at mid game spots, I don't know, like Nova Succession, Corsair Awakening. Yes, you can maybe do some, mediocre trash loot with these classes. They may require high performance, but they will not be like the other classes. So let's talk about the end game. This is the most important part because after few months, even if you start from scratch, even if you have no idea about Black Desert Online, in 2 or 3 months, you will just become like an endgame player and you will be ready to grind an endgame spots. What is endgame? Over 300 AP. People still calling that the Gyfin is endgame. Someone who has no experience, Gyfin, he may call it endgame. For me, it's like top mid game, like high mid game spot. Let's talk about the classes almost one by one. Sorcerer's Awakening. Maybe the most question that I got about this tier list, why Sorc Awakening is S+. Guys, Sorc Awakening is hard to play. Yes, I know that. But the DPS on this class, if you know how to play the class, how to control your mobility, this class is as much as good like witch level, sack witch level. That's why it's Sorc Awakening. There are some examples on the YouTube. Like in most scenario, Sorceress players, they're mostly PvP oriented players because class is designed pure for PvP. But in the last buffs, changes, cooldown reductions, and reworks on it, Sorc Awakening is goddess of PvE. I'm not kidding, very strong, but she's also very hard for PvE. Also exhausting, high APM. That's why people shocked, hey, how Sorc become like S+? She can't because she is. Ninja Succession, same. Hard to play, hard to control, kinda hard to learn compared to other easy classes. High APM, but the result is perfect. With Succession, for me, mediocre difficulty. For some people, that's not like kinda high APM, hard difficulty. But for me, it's okay, easy to mediocre for me, but I'm not like a normal player. Very high DPS, good AoE, S+, always. Lance Succession, according to me, my next tag will be Lance Succession, by the way, after Deadeye. According to me, Lance Succession is the easiest PvE class right now in the game. If we compare the like difficulty and the results, easiest and highest performance. Very, very easy. You're playing the class like 4 skills or maybe maximum 5 skills, like SF, F, RMB, LMB, RMB. Sometimes maybe you use SLMB, but in most scenario with LMB, RMB, when you just, turn like a Beyblade, all packs will die. Right now in the game, I don't know why people not play this class. Very easy, very strong. If I were you, I would play Lance Succession. If you're looking for a meta class, tag something, this is his answer. Literally. I'm playing Dracania. Where is Dracania? Dracania Awakening. My main is Dracania Awakening. Very bad right now. My friend tagged Lance Succession in the morning. He has like 720 gear score. He tagged in the morning. He learned class in a 1 day. With 720, he can grind at Darkseeker's Retreat. He is doing 20% more trash load than me. He's pushing for 37k, 38k, and I'm doing 30k with my Awakened Dracania with 805 gear score. Learning this class takes over 3 months. How to min-max and everything. All cancels. This class, 1 day, you become class master and you can get S+ tier trash load in almost any sport. That's why she is S+, and I don't know why people not play this class. Nova Awakening, very hard to control, but S+, the results. Like for like 3 or 4 years, Nova Awakening is S+ in Black Desert Online. There is no question. It's simple. Very strong class. Dark Knight Awakening, mediocre difficulty, takes a little bit time to get used to the class, to become master. I'm not saying like deeply master, to learn to get used to class. S+, very strong DPS, good AoE, acceptable AoE. It's not like witch level AoE, but good. Acceptable mobility, mediocre APM, S+ results. Like I said in before, it doesn't show that the S tier means bad. These are broken. These are gods and goddesses, okay? So let's talk about the S tier classes. They're also worth to play, by the way. They are worth. Warrior Succession. I mean, if you like Warrior, instead of Awakening, Succession is still acceptable. You can play it. Mystic Awakening. A hidden treasure for PvP and PvE, but this is PvE tier list. You can tag it. Berserker Awakening. People shocked when they saw Berserker Awakening is in S. Berserker Awakening, good DPS chat. Acceptable frontal AoE, but the problem is high APM and hard to play, hard to learn, hard to become like used to. That's why people mostly put an X on top of this picture, but class is S. Like in this tier list, you're seeing the potential of the classes in the class master. And of course, if you give to a newbie, Nova Awakening will be shit tier because the guy will be like, has no talent, has no skill, enough experience to play the class. Of course, people can call some classes, that class is bad. Nope, it is not. Tamer Awakening. It takes time to get used to the class, but it doesn't change the class's S. There are tons of examples about that. Class is S. At Tungrad Ruins, maybe S+, but like I said in before, 1 spot or 2 spots, not making a class S+ or S or A or something. We're just taking overall performance. Tamer Awakening having problem when you need AoE. That AoE issue is just pushing these classes down to S, okay? Witch Awakening, no need to talk about. Easy, good AoE, good damage. Musa Succession, very high APM, high DPS, small AoE. Maiwa Awakening, class is good potential, but nobody is playing the class. It doesn't show the class is bad like the other classes. They put X on it, but class has potential. Class has, good damage, acceptable frontal, but cooldowns problems and some other things. You can it depends the player. You can put My Awakening A maybe. I don't know. We decided to put it at S because she has potential. Ninja Awakening, he has potential. No need to talk about that. Most of the Ninja players, if you encounter them, they are PvP oriented. But class is strong in PvE. What can you do about that? If you can handle the class, that's your problem. My friends, they can grind very good with Ninja Awakening. They're saying that yes, it is high APM. My fingers turn into some like this after 2 hours. But class is strong. Wizard Awakening, good AoE like Witch. Good AoE, good damage. Easy to play. Dosa Succession, same. It's a caster. Dosa Awakening, same. Strong. Solid class. People asking me, which class should I play? Dosa Awakening. They're saying that I don't want to play meta class. I want to play something acceptable, easy to play. I don't want to think that much while I'm playing. Dosa Awakening. Play it. Just play it. Usa Succession, same. Just play. She's still solid class. People forget about how strong this class. She's very strong still. Play it. Mediocre APM. I have tons of guides about it. For Dosa Awakening, Succession, Sage Succession. Very big AoE. Very easy to play. I have tons of guides. Sage Awakening. Kinda mediocre APM. It takes time to get used to the class, but class is strong in PvE. Also broken in PvP. Just for extra info. Hashashin Succession is good at endgame. There is a reason that Hashashin Succession is S at endgame. In endgame spots, in most case, 80% of the game right now, spots are, fixed, like tower defense type or small AoE spots. And Hashashin Succession has Tornado. That Tornado helps a lot. That's why we put Hashashin Succession at S tier. By the way, these has no importance being this line or being this line. This line and this line, they both S. That's why Hash is S at end game. In mid game, in early game, of course the class is shit because of mobility and some other things. Wizard Succession. If they just give the Wizard Succession multiple magical arrow like Witch, he can be S+, but he's S. Shy in end game. Shy is S. It's because in end game spots, especially in the party spots, Shy is mandatory. But if you want, you can put the Shy in A when you feel lonely. Shy is not a class in end game that you can play by yourself. Archer. People always forget about how powerful is the Archer. They say, Archer is fragile. Yes, I know. Hard to play. Yes, I know. Hard to control. Yes, I know. But if you can handle these things, Archer is S tier grinder. Right now in the game, according to my stats, for PvP and for PvE, in both scenario, there are two different classes between two classes that's sitting on top, literally. Nova Awakening for PvE and PvP and Archer. I'm not kidding. Just find yourself a proper Archer. I'm not saying RMB, I'm not saying this Archer. I'm saying Big Bad Tortoise. These type of Archers. Find them. And they will tell how strong this class. They will tell why this class is sitting on S. Okay. Guardian Succession, very easy to play, big AoE, strong damage. If they if you can find if they can reduce the cooldown of some skills on the Guardian Succession directly can sit on S+. Class hits that much hard, that much strong, but because of the cooldown problems, she's S. Succession Striker, they're just completing each other. Awakening Striker, good damage, big AoE. Succession Striker, small AoE, very good damage. They are S. Dark Knight Succession, S if you can handle the class. Alright, let's talk about A tier classes. Warrior Awakening. You can put Warrior Awakening B tier too. It's in the edge of being B tier or something. Soak Succession, bad AoE. And damage is good, but bad AoE. And the mobility is also bad. So she feels bad. She's being mediocre with high performance. Berserker Succession, same. Low DPS, bad AoE. Mobility is good, but it's not being good. It's not make the class good. Musa Awakening, mediocre class, acceptable AoE, good mobility, acceptable. Kuno Succession, hard to play, takes some time, good DPS, kinda acceptable mobility, depends the sport, mediocre AoE. Lan Awakening, same. Hashashin Awakening, same. Ranger Awakening, high APM, hard to learn, mediocre performance. Mega Succession, like I said and before, very good AoE, very good range, good mobility, but the DPS is bad. I mean, if I were developer, I would add like 10% DPS to this class, make her S. But maybe they think like class needs to be stay here because they just released Mega Succession broken in everything, and they nerfed her like 4 times. Now she's sitting here. Corsair Awakening, mediocre. Corsair Succession. I played this class. She's having problem because of the cooldowns. If they can just make the cooldown problem on this class, damage is good, AoE is good, and class can be S. But the cooldowns are just creating a huge bottleneck for this class. Maiva Succession, AoE problem, same. Dracania Succession, okay-ish AoE, bad DPS, bad cooldown management, and also kind of bad mobility. Not that much bad mobility, but compared to other classes, kind of exhausting mobility. Maiga Awakening, good single target DPS, very bad AoE. That's why she's sitting in middle. And also hard to play, high APM. Tamer's Succession, high APM, bad AoE. That's why she's in the mid. But DPS is acceptable. Scholar has cooldown problem. That's why she's in the middle. If they can fix the cooldown problem on the big AoE skills, and if they can, in most scenario, if they can fix the frontal mobility. She feels so clunky about mobility when you try to just transfer your body in front of you, but she's bad because of mobility and there's some cooldowns issue. Guardian Awakening, big AoE, acceptable damage, high cooldowns, and also mobility, kinda. Kunoichi Awakening, mediocre class, no need to talk about that. Like, she always be mediocre. Like, she always sit here. Yes, this is the PvE list that I published a month ago. We are talking about that. Mystic Succession, like, we started to just talk about the bad classes. Bad class, literally. Bad AoE, like, kind of bad DPS. I mean, bad, literally bad. Valkyrie Awakening, mediocre DPS, good, mediocre DPS for Awakening Valkyrie, good mobility, bad skills. I mean, the class problem, skills are bad. Literally, her skills are bad. You cannot create a proper combo on this class. You just ignore this class. Wusa Awakening. Wusa Awakening skill kit. I love this class. Her design is amazing. But she cannot fit the current Black Desert Online. She feels like when you play this class, she's from another dimension. There is a Black Desert Online in the parallel universe designed into something different, and this class mistakenly just, transfer from there into this game. She's not bad. She just can't fit the current game. Thank you so much for the Dota Enjoyer. Thank you so much. Draconian Awakening. She's my main. She never be a good option for PvE. Day by day, she just become bad and bad and bad. Why she's bad? She is the most complicated class in the game. She has 26 awakening skills. She has more than 80 flows and cancels. She has tons of things in her kit. Bad AoE, bad damage, very hard to learn, high APM, hard to control, hard to positioning or something. What you need, everything is hard, is all this shit. That's why she said on B. If you want, you can put it in C. She is literally bad. Nova Succession. PA wanted to fix Nova Succession, but she still feels bad. She needs damage. She's clunky. She's slow. So she needs to hit like hard. She needs to hit like truck. Bomb. Bomb. Cooldown, maybe they have to fix the cooldowns or something. I don't know. But the results, when I talk with some Nova Succession class masters, they said yes, she was here before the buff. Now she's sitting here. 2 tiers up. Valkyrie Succession, same like Awakening. Her kit is not okay. The current Black Desert Online. No need to talk about that. I love Valkyrie Succession. My old main is Valkyrie. I played that class for 4 years. Sorry. Sorry. Ranger Succession. I don't want to talk about this class. PA just refused this class for no reason. Decision is yours. Yeah. I try to talk about the overall, mostly in endgame scenario, early game, mid game. You can also find the PvE Tierlist video in my channel. I'm live on Twitch right now. You can also see the chat. We're coming the end of the video. They will say bye to you. But before I leave, the tier list again. I wanna add this one. The tier list prepared by the class masters. I'm just a data collector. I'm collecting the data and serving it to you. But the data comes from the class masters. I cannot be humble about my own project. This is the only tier list that you can trust about PvE in Black Desert Online. Decision is yours. Let me know what you think in the current situation of these classes. But I didn't forget, there is a bonus. People asking me, what am I thinking about Deadeye? Guys, Deadeye in endgame scenario, S tier. Good mobility, good single target DPS, good AoE after the changes after the mana round buff, good damage for AoE. But she's not broken. She is not broken in almost any spots. She is solid 9 out of 10. 9 out of 10 is S. Not 9.5, not 10 out of 10. She is 9 out of 10, but the gameplay is smooth, mobility is good, damage is good, AoE is good, situationally single target DPS is good. She is solid S tier in end game. In early game, S tier. In mid game, S tier. Overall, Deadeye, after the buffs, after the changes, after a month, class is solid S tier and kinda easy to mediocre difficulty for every players in this game. It may take some time to understand how the class is working, but Deadeye is solid S tier because people asking me this question a lot in these days. I hope you guys like my contents. Do not forget, BDO is just a game. Have a nice game.
I'm gonna make you an offer you can't refuse. Die.